Miles had been driving for hours, the kind of endless stretch that made his eyes ache and the world blur into a smear of asphalt and trees. He was on his way to a new job in a city 3 states over, his old pickup packed with everything he owned. The GPS had been glitchy all day, rerouting him through back roads in rural Ohio, far from any highway. It was past midnight when the gas light blinked on, and his phone showed no bars. The last town was miles back, and the road ahead was a dark tunnel of pines. He spotted the gas station just as the engine started to sputter, a flickering neon sign that read fuel and food, half the letters burned out. The place looked ancient, its pumps rusted, the convenience store's windows smeared with grime. A single bulb buzzed over the door, casting jagged shadows. Miles didn't care. He needed gas and maybe a coffee to keep him going. He pulled in, the gravel crunching under his tires, and cut the engine. Inside, the store was worse than he'd expected. The air smelled of mildew and something sharper, like spoiled meat. Shelves were half-stocked with dusty cans and faded chip bags, some with expiration dates from a decade ago. A clerk stood behind the counter, an older man with sunken eyes and a stained flannel shirt. "Pumps on, pay after." Miles nodded, uneasy, and grabbed a warm soda from a fridge that hummed too loudly. Outside, he filled the tank, the pump clicking slower than it should. The silence was oppressive. No crickets, no wind, just the faint buzz of the neon sign. He glanced back at the store and saw the clerk watching him through the window, his head tilted at an odd angle. Miles forced a smile, but the clerk didn't move. Shaking it off, he finished pumping and headed back inside to pay. The clerk was gone. The crossword lay abandoned, a pen rolling off the counter. Miles called out, but the only answer was the fridge's hum. He waited, tapping his card on the counter, his unease growing. Then he noticed the door behind the counter, slightly ajar, leading to a back room. A faint light spilled out, flickering like a dying bulb. Against his better judgment, he leaned over the counter, peering through the gap. The room was small, cluttered with boxes, but what caught his eye was the wall, covered in Polaroids, dozens of them, pinned haphazardly. Each showed a different person, some smiling, some not, all standing by the gas pumps. Miles's stomach dropped. He recognized his truck in one of the photos, taken minutes ago, his silhouette blurry but unmistakable. He hadn't seen a camera, hadn't heard a shutter. His breath hitched as he backed away, bumping into a shelf. Cans clattered to the floor and the back room's light went out. He was halfway to the door when the bell above it jingled, and the clerk stepped inside. From outside, Miles froze. "Leaving already?" the clerk asked, his voice low, almost amused. Miles stammered about paying, but the clerk waved him off. Miles didn't argue. He bolted to his truck, his hands shaking as he turned the key. The engine roared to life, and he peeled out, gravel spraying behind him. In the rearview mirror, the gas station's sign flickered, then went dark, as if it had never been on.
Breaking news.
He drove for an hour, heart pounding, until he hit a proper highway and a 24-hour diner. The waitress there gave him coffee and a curious look when he asked about the gas station. "Ain't no station on that road, not for years. Closed down after some folks went missing." Miles didn't sleep that night. He kept driving, checking his mirrors, half expecting to see the clerk's face in the shadows. When he finally stopped at a motel, he unpacked his bags and found something he hadn't noticed before, a Polaroid, tucked into his jacket pocket. It showed him at the pump, his face pale, the neon sign glowing behind him. On the back in smudged ink was a single word. He burned the photo in the motel's parking lot, the flames curling the edges as the clerk's face melted away. He made it to his new job, settled into a cramped apartment, and tried to forget. But sometimes, late at night, he'd hear it. A faint buzz, like a neon sign struggling to stay lit, coming from just outside his window. He never looked. He knew what he'd see.